how good is Lamar Jackson? Oh my
That's
God.
what I was about to say. Yes.
Like I am starting to kind of get on this hill of Lamar Jackson is already a top 10 all-time quarterback, because I could tell you sitting here that I don't know that I've seen 10 guys who affect a game more than Lamar Jackson. He's about ready to win his third MVP. I think he almost, I don't want to say clinched it because there's a half a season to go, but I don't know how you can vote against Lamar Jackson right now. I get Josh Allen's great, and I got my Jared Goff thing going, but Lamar Jackson is playing at a level that I've only seen a few times in NFL history. And if you go through the list of three-time MVPs, it's Johnny Unitas, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Jim Brown. That's the list. We're talking about 6 of the all-time greatest players in NFL history. Lamar Jackson's about ready to join that list. Super Bowl or not, I'm starting to think Lamar Jackson. I don't think I can name 10 quarterbacks in NFL history who have been better than Lamar Jackson is right now. He is that good. I don't know if he needs that Super Bowl to get on the top 10 list. Dan Marino really didn't. So I'm just in awe of Lamar Jackson. Every time I'm watching him, he keeps getting better and better and better. It's amazing to watch this guy play football right now.
I think a lot of what we're seeing on the field right now is him knowing where he was physically and marrying, I think, where he is now as a quarterback mentally. He's a veteran. He's wise. He understands everything about playing the position now.
Yeah.
But now he's married that with his physique when he first entered the league out of Louisville, where it was like, oh my God, he's so dynamic as a runner. This is insane. Like, this guy, you cannot stop him as a runner. Well, now he's married both parts of those games. He became the pocket passer that everybody said he couldn't become. He became the one, I would say probably one of the 2 or 3 smartest quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Yep.
It's the entire package, and I don't think he has to win a Super Bowl at this. If he wins another MVP this year, and this is kind of where he's going, I don't think he has to win another Super Bowl to be considered in that top 10 quarterback conversation all time.
Lamar right now has a 123.2 passer rating this season. The all-time record is Aaron Rodgers at 122.5. So we're talking about Lamar Jackson, the best runner ever at this position, ever. The best running quarterback we've ever seen, who's about ready to set the single season all-time passer rating mark. Like, that's unbelievable. The way he has married the mental side of the game, like you talked about, with the physical side, the passing side, with the rushing side. This is the guy you create in Madden. This is the guy. It's Lamar Jackson in 2024. He is playing at such a peak that, again, I haven't seen that many quarterbacks reach this level of quarterbacking.
And let me ask you this, because I think this is a really interesting comparison. For the longest time, we have gotten pissed off at Aaron Rodgers because he does so many things his way. He does it his way. He's the smartest guy in the room. He does what he wants, all these different things. Guess what? Lamar might not put himself out there as the smartest guy in the room, but he definitely does things his way. Over the course of his career, at every significant intersection where a decision had to be made, he did it the way he wanted to do it. Whether it was, hey, I'm coming in the league, I'm not going to work out at wide receiver, I'm not going to run a 40-yard dash, I'm going to be a quarterback. The contract, right? The whole contract situation for the longest time, he was stiff-arming the organization, saying, I will do it when I'm ready to do it. He waited for other quarterback deals to come in. The weight, changing his physique. And I don't think people in the organization, by the way, he did that on his own. It wasn't like the people in the organization were like, A, put on notice, hey, I'm going to slim down, or B, told him he needed to do it. He just showed up and they're like, oh, okay.
Oh, hey.
So I guess we're doing this now, And I remember John Harbaugh got asked about it, and John Harbaugh basically was like, all right, like, you're going to see where this goes. It's wild to me that, like Aaron Rodgers, he has done so many things his way. And yet, I don't feel like right now we stare at him and go, how dare he? Instead, I'm like, man, I got to pretty much give this guy credit. Everything he does works out for him. And yet he still hasn't won that Super Bowl, but we just don't, it's hard to kind of criticize him just because the changes that he makes, when we sit there and we have issues with it, it doesn't take long for the other side of that to resolve and go, oh, it turns out he's right. And he seems to be right about everything.
Yeah,
right?
He really does. Like, it's amazing.
This is what drives me crazy about the entire way we talk about championships in the NFL. Is that we've become a living, eating, breathing Talladega Nights. Like, we're all Ricky Bobby saying, if you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
And it's stupid. It was a stupid line we all laughed at in the movie, and it's stupid the way we cover the sport. I looked it up. he's played 95 regular season games, in which he's got 2 MVPs and may be on the cusp of his third. He's put the Ravens in this situation time and time again. And we're suddenly going to let 95 games get washed away because we don't like the way he's played in 6 playoff games, some of which he's actually played well in, but 6 playoff games. So we're going to let those 6 games be a reason that we just suddenly turn around and poo-poo all over a 95-game body of work. This makes no sense to me. It is clear the greatness of Lamar Jackson. And what's maddening is we did the same thing at one point with Marino, but Twitter didn't exist. There was a time where John Elway had the reputation that he couldn't win the big one, which turned out to be really stupid. There was a time when people said the same thing about Peyton Manning. Can't beat Florida. He's never going to win a Super Bowl. Can't beat Brady. Now we look back and say, well, that was a stupid narrative. Our grandkids are going to look back at the way we talked about Lamar Jackson and say, man, it's really stupid that they tried to find every reason to fault this player over 6 games instead of looking at the 95-game body of work that has been absolutely beyond elite.
And by the way, do you know the Ravens' record in his starts in his career? 65-22.
It's absurd.
They're winning 3/4 of their games. He walks off the bus and they're 12-4. Like, this is he's just an amazing player. And I agree with you completely. Super Bowls are a data point, right? And a big one. It's amazing. But he also happens to be playing at the same time as the NFL's Michael Jordan, right? Like, Patrick Mahomes is scooping up all these championships. That's not always his fault. Like, this is still a team game. And the Ravens haven't been good enough to beat the Chiefs or to win a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson's good enough. Like, if you're sitting there saying, I'm not convinced Lamar Jackson's that good because he hasn't won a Super Bowl, you're doing this thing wrong. Like, you really need to watch more of Lamar Jackson play football.